welcome to today's episode. I'm your host, Sabiha Mukadam, a fee for service. Today, we're going to look at how interest affects your money. If you're between 16 and 25, you probably heard the same financial warning 1,000 times. Interest is the ultimate villain. You see TikToks about credit card debt, headlines about student loans, and your immediate instinct is just to completely hide from the system. But here's the reality: interest isn't the financial villain, it's just leverage. And in today's world, you cannot build a massive future entirely on pocket change. Whether it's funding an education, buying a car for a great job, or investing in a home, borrowing is often the exact catalyst you need to scale your life. Today, we are breaking down how to stop fearing interest and start running it like a professional. What is interest really? If I strip away the jargon, interest is simply cost of borrowing money or the reward of lending it. When you borrow, you pay it. When you save or invest, you earn a return. Same concept, different directions. Avoiding debt at all cost isn't a badge of honor if it keeps you completely stagnant. The objective isn't to stay debt free forever, it's to ensure that when you do borrow, you're using that money to build your future, either your net worth or earning power, instead of draining your finances. Now let's look at the borrowing that drains your life. Um, the borrowing that actually slows down your financial momentum or lifestyle debt. Imagine you borrowed $3,000 on a credit card and only made minimum payments. You keep making the minimum payments. At roughly 20%, that balance quietly balloons in the background while you feel like you're handling it. The reality is you are not. The exact same thing happens with buy now and pay later apps popular in Canada like Klarna, Afterpay, or the pay info options at online checkouts. These apps rely on a psychological trick. They give you a quick dopamine hit by letting you feel the success of owning maybe $100 hoodie or a vacation today without putting in the structural work to pay for it. If you miss a single deadline, hidden fees and interest turn a casual purchase into a massive headache. Credit cards and shopping apps are excellent, secure tools if you pay them off in full every single month. The tool itself isn't dangerous. Carrying a balance is. Now let's look at the borrowing that builds you. Strategic investments, we call them. Strategic investments, this is where the borrowing shifts from liability to a major asset. When used intentionally, debt is the exact bridge you need to unlock success. Take your student loans, whether it's OSAP in Ontario or Student Aid BC, or whatever your province calls it or uses. Your education or trade skill is what gives you a bigger shovel to dig with tomorrow. Taking out a loan to fund your growth is not a bad debt. It's leveraging borrowed capital to build your human value. And the best part, the Canadian government has eliminated interest on the federal portion of Canada student loans, while some provincial portions might still accumulate interest depending on where you live. These loans directly help you earn significantly more over your lifetime, offer way better terms than standard banks, and act as a calculated launchpad. Now, the same logic does apply to car loans as well. Financing a reliable vehicle to get to school or work is a practical investment in your productivity. It gives you access to better opportunities. Where Canadian mess up is signing an aggressive 72 or 84-month loan just to buy a flashy right to show up. A reasonable loan helps you grow, an inflated loan holds you back. Now let's shift the interest, this from interest to growth. We call it the Canadian cheat codes. When we talk about making money on your money, people often lump it under the word interest. But there is a massive difference between a basic bank account paying you crumbs of interest and an investment account building compound growth. In Canada, you get a literal cheat code. Accounts like the TFSA and FHSA let your investment grow completely tax free. Instead of letting the cash sit in a checking account to earn pennies, you can use a TFSA to buy broad equity funds or index ETFs. These are baskets that hold tiny pieces of hundreds of massive global companies like Apple, Amazon, or Shopify. As they profit, your investment grows. Look at the math. Alex started investing just $200 a month into an index ETF inside a TFSA at age 20. By the time he was 60, assuming standard 7% average annual return, they have around 520,000. And they don't owe CRA a single penny of it because it was tax free. Now, Taylor waits just 10 years more to start the exact same habit in when he was 30. By age 60, they only have 240,000. Taylor missed out on over 280,000 simply by waiting. You don't need a fortune to start, you just need time. Now let's look at some of the myths you hear about credit and the credit loopholes. I call this the iced coffee myth. Please ignore the influencers online telling you that cutting out your daily iced coffee will make you rich. It won't. Skipping everyday joy won't fix your long term finances. Your daily coffee isn't the problem. Big, unexamined structural decisions are. Some people try to completely avoid credit cards to stay safe, but in Canada, that backfires. To rent an apartment in Toronto or Vancouver, or even get a good phone plan, you need to have a credit score from Equifax or TransUnion. You have to play the game to win it. Get a card at 18, use it for regular groceries, pay it instantly, and force the system to build you a perfect score for free. Look, at the end of the day, you have two choices. You let the financial system run you, which is what happens when you ignore this stuff, or you can take the wheel and run it like a professional. Don't wait until you're older or making real money to care. Your 60-second action step today is simple. Go into your banking app, turn on autopay for your credit card statements, and stop letting your cash rot at 0% in basic checking account. Move it somewhere it can actually grow. From here on out, your rule of thumb is simple. Before you swipe, sign, or invest, just ask yourself, is this choice helping me grow or holding me back? If it funds your education, your career skills, or your tax free investments, embrace it. It's leverage. If it's just short term hype, step back. Be incredibly optimistic about what you can build. You have the time, you have the tools, and now you have the strategy.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information about our services, check out scfplanning.com. We will see you next time.